They told me to let it go, that there was nothing left to find, that the storm had taken my brother and scattered him to the wind. But they didn't understand. Jason wasn't just my brother. He was my hero, my anchor, the one person who made sense of the chaos. And that storm, it didn't just take his body. It left a hole, a silence, one I couldn't live with. I watched the video. God help me. I watched it, over and over until every scream, every flicker of windswept static was burned into my skull. He was right there, recording, witnessing the impossible. And then he was gone. Most people would have shut the door, let the pain fade. But I'm not most people. My name is Rachel Marshall, and this is how I died. I want to start off with noting that my brother Jason was not an actual storm chaser. It was just his dream to be one. Just a young kid with big dreams who absolutely loved nature and had a deep obsession with tornadoes. He had always known that his obsession would likely be his downfall, and sure enough, that was just his life. I followed the same notes he'd left behind in his journal, retracing his final chase. The old truck he'd poured his life into rattled beneath me as I drove deeper into Tornado Alley, the storm building on the horizon. My hands gripped the wheel tightly, my heart pounding in time with the thunder. Jason's tracker, silent for months, suddenly came to life. A faint, erratic signal. My breath caught in my throat as I glanced at the blinking light on the dashboard. It was him. I veered off the main road, following the signal into a desolate field scarred by past storms. The truck skidded to a stop and I jumped out, rain slicing across my skin. The wind howled, pulling at my hair as I scanned the area. That's when I saw it. Jason's jacket, tangled in the branches of a splintered tree. "Jason," I whispered, my voice swallowed by the storm. I ran to the tree, my hands trembling as I pulled the fabric free. It was torn and filthy, but it was his. My brother had been here. The air shifted then, the storm's roar giving way to an eerie stillness. A chill ran down my spine as I turned, and that's when I saw him. A figure stood a few feet away, cloaked in black, his face hidden beneath a hood. In one skeletal hand, he held a scythe that gleamed like obsidian. The Grim Reaper. He said, his voice like a whisper woven into the wind. I froze, my fingers clutching Jason's jacket. I'm here for my brother, I stammered. I need to bring him home. The Reaper tilted his head as if considering me. Jason's story ended where the storm consumed him. His passion led him here, and it claimed him. Now you follow. I had to, I said, my voice shaking. He deserves peace. My family deserves answers. The Reaper stepped closer, his presence suffocating. The answers you seek lie beneath the earth, he pointed. But know this, the cost of truth is often steep. I didn't hesitate. I'll pay it. He raised his scythe, pointing to a jagged scar in the ground. Dig then. The rain blurred my vision, but I didn't stop. I dug until my fingers scraped against something cold and metallic. Jason's other camera. My breath hitched as I pulled it free, its cracked screen glowing faintly. I wiped the mud away and saw the last moments he'd captured. His voice, shaky but exhilarated, as he filmed the tornado barreling toward him. "Rachel," he'd said, his face briefly appearing in the frame. "If you're watching this, I didn't make it, but don't mourn me. I chose this. I lived for this. I just hope you never follow me here." His words hit me like a blow to the chest. My brother, fearless to the end, had known what he was walking into. And yet, here I was, defying his last wish, chasing him into the storm. I kept digging. My hands were raw and trembling, but I didn't stop until I uncovered the rest of him, his remains tangled in the roots of a broken tree. His camera bag was still slung over his shoulder, his hand clutching its strap. I collapsed beside him, the weight of grief crushing me. The rain poured harder, washing the mud from his bones as I clung to his camera. "I found you," I whispered, my tears mixing with the rain. "I found you, Jason." The air grew colder then, and I felt the presence behind me again. Slowly, I turned to face the Reaper. He said, his voice devoid of judgment. I shook my head, my breath hitching. I can't leave him here. He deserves to be brought home. I felt the ground tremble beneath me as I sat next to what was left of Jason. The wind screamed louder now, too loud, and a deep guttural roar rose in the distance. I looked up, and my heart dropped. The funnel cloud was approaching, fast. "No," I breathed. "No, not now." I grabbed the camera and stumbled to my feet, wiping my muddy hands on my jeans. The Reaper stood where he had been, unmoving as the sky darkened like a bruise. "You said I'd found what I came for," I shouted above the wind. "Let me go, I can still make it." His empty gaze locked on me.
"You were born, Marshall. You chose this."
"I didn't choose death," I screamed.
"The truth, it has its price."
I turned and ran. I didn't wait for another word. Jason's camera was pressed to my chest as I sprinted back toward the truck, the ground shaking with each step. The wind ripped at my jacket, my legs sinking into the churned earth. I could see the truck now, maybe 30 yards away, its headlights blinking through the curtain of rain. I pushed harder, my lungs burning, my vision blurred with tears and debris. But it was too late. The sky above me fractured as the tornado dropped like the fist of God. The sound, an impossible violent freight train, filled my head as the pressure dropped and my ears popped. I felt the pull before I saw the wall of wind bearing down on me. I screamed, not out of fear, out of defiance, out of refusal, but the storm didn't care. The last thing I saw as I was being lifted off the ground was the truck flipping in the distance, then sky coming closer, then earth as it became further away. I remember making it to the top of the funnel. I bared witness to the sun one last time as it shined so beautifully above the storm. The sight was incredible, even if only for a brief moment, then nothing. When I opened my eyes, everything was quiet. No wind, no rain, no pain. Just stillness. I sat up slowly. The field was untouched, glowing with an ethereal calm. Jason stood a few feet away, smiling softly. "You tried to run," he said gently. I looked down at my hands. I was still holding his camera, but it was clean, whole, untouched by the storm. "I wanted to go home, to give our parents the closure we all wanted," I said. "I know," he said. But life had other plans. Tears welled in my eyes again, not from fear this time, but from understanding. I had found what I came for. I had brought Jason home, even if I didn't get to follow. From the edge of the field, the Reaper stood, silent and watchful. He didn't need to speak. I understood now.
Instead of giving your family closure, it cost them more life. You failed their